Hey guys, today I'm filming a first impression follow-up on the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. I know this is a product that has been out for a while, but I have yet to try this. My amazing friend Jean sent this to me for my birthday, and I cannot wait to use this. It looks like it should be a good color match for me, and it says matte, which immediately draws me in. This retails for $8.50 on the Ulta website, and it comes in 6 different shades. I will have that information listed in the description box. There are not too many details or claims on this product, but from the Ulta website it says the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream provides a perfect amount of coverage to even skin tone, hide blemishes, and keep you shine free all day. We will definitely put that to the test. I do have some redness to even out, I have blemishes, and I do have oily skin, so I'll definitely be able to see if this holds up to the claims for my very oily skin. Like with all of my first impression and follow-up videos, I will be testing out this foundation on one side with a sponge and on the other side with a brush to see which application method I like better, which one looks nicer, gives more coverage, and all that. So for the packaging, this foundation comes in a squeeze tube, which I love. I love pumps, but I think squeeze tubes are also super easy to use. So I'm just going to go ahead, squeeze some out. This is a nice texture. It isn't too thick and it isn't too runny either. It is somewhere in the middle, but leaning more towards the thick side. And just blending this on. I think this might be a smidge dark, but I think it should work okay. So just applying a little bit of this all over this side of my face. So because this is a BB cream, I'm not expecting full coverage or anything. I'm hoping for medium. That would be awesome. So now I have it all dotted on this side, and I'm going to blend out this side with my sponge. And it seems to spread easily with the sponge, which is nice, but I feel like the sponge is really shearing out the coverage. It looks like I don't have anything on my skin, so we'll see how it layers, but a sponge so far might not be the way. Here's one side of my face with BB cream and one side without. It definitely did even out my skin tone a little bit, but not in the areas where I have a ton of redness. This is a BB cream, I need to keep that in mind, but I'll definitely see how this can layer. So now that I've dotted the foundation on this side, I'm going to go in with my brush and just blend it out. So far it does look like it's giving a little bit more coverage than the sponge. So here's one layer with the sponge, and here's one layer with a brush. I feel like the coverage looks pretty even. I think I have a little bit more where the brush side is, but when I get close up, I can see little brush marks in my face, like in the foundation. So maybe it's because of the specific brush I was using. I will try a different brush tomorrow maybe and see how that looks, but I'm just gonna go over it with the sponge to help get rid of those little brush marks. So this is definitely light coverage with one layer. I'm going to add a second layer and see if we can build it up to a light medium. So here's 2 layers with a sponge and 1 layer with a brush. It is buildable. I would say it is light medium. It did cover up a lot more of my redness, so I'm really happy that it is buildable. Now 2 layers with a brush. So now I have 2 layers of foundation on both sides. This is with the sponge, and this is with the brush. I feel like the coverage looks pretty comparable. I would say that the brush side has a bit more coverage, but it definitely did leave those brush strokes in it. So I did go over top with the sponge just to blend out a little bit. And I think in the application tomorrow, I'm gonna try it with a different brush and see how that looks. But I definitely wouldn't mind on a daily basis applying it with a brush and then blending over top with a sponge. That wouldn't bother me at all to do both. So I feel like this definitely does give a light medium, maybe medium coverage. It probably is gonna depend on your skin and how much you actually have to correct and cover up. I feel like the shade Fair works for me pretty well. Maybe it's a tinge dark or a tinge pinky, but I don't think it looks bad at all. I'm going to conceal under my eyes, and I'm going to set my face with the RCMA No Color Powder, which will not give me any color coverage or mattify me. It will just help to set the skin. It is 10:30 a.m. right now. I'll be back in a few hours to check in. Hey guys, I'm back for my first check-in. I've changed location a little bit. The sun was coming in very strangely on the place where I usually sit, so I hope the lighting is okay here, and I apologize for a little bit of the mess in the background. So it is 1:30 p.m. I've been wearing this foundation for 3 hours and I'm starting to get oily on the sides of my nose, if you can see, which if you guys have come to watch several of these first impression and follow-ups, you know that is pretty common. And I'm a little oily on my chin, but nothing that you can see. I can just feel it a little bit, but overall my skin does look pretty matte, which is fantastic. But this foundation was a tiny bit dark, but as I started putting on the rest of my makeup and just wearing it throughout these 3 hours, it is definitely oxidized on me. It is a lot more orange than my skin tone, which is more yellow, and it is darker. Just looking in the camera right now, I think I can probably see it better in person than you can on camera, but just looking at my face compared to my neck, way darker, way more orange. So that's a huge bummer. That is the reason that I don't own the CoverGirl 3-in-1 foundation, is because when I first tried it, it oxidized terribly and was too orange. That is such a bummer because I love the formula of this foundation. It has some pretty decent coverage for a BB cream. It is holding up against my oils really well for a BB cream, but it freaking oxidizes. That is so disappointing to me. We'll see if it oxidizes even more as my oil starts to come through. I'm really hoping that I can use this with a mixer and get the shade to work for me, and maybe it will oxidize if I mix it with something else. Let me know your all's experience with this foundation. Did it oxidize on you? Foundations don't usually oxidize on me except for CoverGirl, so I am just so freaking bummed that it did. I feel like it's really noticeable in person. But besides the oxidization factor, it actually is holding up really well for a BB cream. So I will check back in a few hours. Hey guys, it is 4:30 p.m. I've had this foundation on for 6 hours and I'm actually really impressed with how well this has combated my oil. I'm definitely oily on the sides of my nose and a little bit on my forehead and chin, but not as bad as I have been with my most recent foundation, first impression and follow-up. So I'm really happy with the way that this has held up. I don't feel like this has oxidized any more since my first update, but I am still definitely disappointed with the fact that it did oxidize, and I'm hoping that I will be able to work with it. I'm going to go ahead and blot my face with one piece of toilet paper. And there is a tiny bit of transfer on the tissue, but not bad. And even though oil is coming through a tiny bit, it is not breaking through my makeup. Hey guys, so today I'm filming the follow-up on the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. I'm going to be inserting this into my everyday routine to really test how this product is going to hold up for me. So starting off with primers, I'm going to be using one for oil control and to fill in my large pores. For oil control, I'm going to use the Lorac Porefection, and for pores, I'm going to use the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer. So for the Lorac, I'm just going to apply some all over my face. And then for the Smashbox, I'm going to apply this in my large pores, on the sides of my nose, on my nose, and as well as in my forehead wrinkles. So I like to press it into my skin first and then sweep over it towards the outside of my face. So now for the foundation. Yesterday I applied it with a brush and a sponge, and I decided that I like the brush better, but today I'm going to be using a different brush. Yesterday I used a brush from RC Cosmetics, and today I'm going to be using the Beauty Junkies Flat Top Kabuki brush, and I think that this one should hopefully work better. We'll see if this brush works better than the other one did. So now that I have that dotted on one side of my face, I'm going to go ahead and blend it out. I didn't have any problem blending yesterday, but with that Lorac primer underneath, it's just making everything blend and glide onto my skin so much easier. Yesterday I saw some brush strokes. Today I do not see any, so I definitely think it had to do with the brush that I was using. So here's one layer of the BB cream all over my face. I definitely feel like this gives light coverage. So now I'm going to see if I can build it up to light medium or medium. So here is 2 layers of foundation all over my face. I feel like with 2 layers I am able to get light medium, maybe medium. It's covering up my redness pretty well, but I am still seeing a little bit show through. So I'm going to apply my under eye concealer and powder and come back. So now that I have applied my under eye concealer and setting powder, I'm going to go in with my face powder. I'm using my NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat powder foundation in the shade number 1 Ivory and applying it with my Real Techniques powder brush. This powder will give me a little bit of coverage as well as mattify me, but because I'm using this big fluffy brush, it's really mostly going to help set my face and not give too much coverage. And I am just going to apply this all over my face. So now my face is all set. I feel like right now it looks like it matches me. I'm hoping that because I used a powder that is a little bit lighter than the foundation, it will help maybe keep this foundation from oxidizing. I will let you know when I update you. But this is how I'm looking right now. I really like the way that this foundation looks. I really do enjoy this coverage. I think that powder on top really just helps pull everything together. And once I put on all the rest of my makeup, it definitely looks like I have more coverage. So I'm going to be blotting throughout the day whenever I need to, and I will also be touching up with my Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I'll be checking back with you guys about halfway throughout the day to give you my final thoughts. Hey guys, it is 3 p.m. I've been wearing this foundation for 5 hours and I wanted to give you my final thoughts on this. So I actually just touched up before this video. I was oily on the sides of my nose and that is it. I wasn't really oily in the center of my face at all, which for being 5 hours, it's pretty darn good. I'm actually really impressed. So I definitely think that when I use this foundation in combination with my mattifying primer and powder, that it really does help prolong the wear of this and helps keep me from getting so oily so quickly. So now to give you my final thoughts on this BB cream, the only negative I have is the fact that it does oxidize. If you guys don't know what oxidize means, it means like as your oils start to come through that it interacts with the foundation, usually makes it darker and more orange. At least that is what it does on me. I haven't really had that experience with many other foundations, but it has happened to me with 2 out of the 2 CoverGirl foundations that I've tried, so not good odds there. I do have to say that the oxidization definitely happened today, but it is less noticeable since I set it with that lighter powder. I will be trying out this foundation with a foundation mixer and seeing if that will help to keep this foundation from oxidizing. At the end of the year, I am going to do a current thoughts on my first impression products of 2016. So in that video, I will let you guys know how the foundation mixer worked with this foundation. But as it stands now, the oxidization is the only thing that bothers me. I definitely think this is the best BB cream I've ever tried. Medium coverage for a BB cream I think is really, really great. The fair shade does work for me pretty well. Besides the oxidizing, the shade does work. And I feel like this actually holds up against my oils really well. I'm so impressed because usually BB creams are extra moisturizing, but this one is just so perfect for me. This is definitely a foundation that I will be reaching for on those casual days. If I want like a full face beat glam, probably not. But on those casual days, this will be something that I definitely reach for a lot. I've been trying a lot of foundations recently that are just okay, and I really like this one. This one's definitely good. I'm gonna play with it more, develop even more thoughts on it, see how it works with a foundation mixer. But as it stands now, this is definitely a BB cream that I would recommend for anybody with normal, combo, or oily skin. I don't feel like this was particularly drying, so if you have dry skin, let me know how this works for you. But overall, very, very impressed with this foundation. So guys, that was my first impression and follow-up on the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. I would love to know your thoughts if you guys have tried this as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.